Imagine this. You're locked away from the world. No phone, no books, not even a window. There's no way to tell time. It's just you and your thoughts, alone in a bright white room. Well, to find out, we're going to look at one of the most extreme experiments in self-isolation ever documented. It really pushes the limits of human endurance to answer that one, simple but honestly kind of terrifying question. And the stakes here are incredibly high. For 72 hours, one man, Michael Stevens from the YouTube channel Vsauce, is going to lock himself away from everything. His mission? To find out what really happens when the mind is left completely, and I mean utterly, alone. So, let's follow his journey, step by step, and see for ourselves the profound, and let's be honest, often shocking effects of being truly alone. But before he even steps foot in that white room, we really need to understand the invisible enemy that he's about to face, boredom. And this isn't just, feeling like you have nothing to do. It's a powerful psychological force. What's so fascinating about this is that our brains are literally hardwired to avoid being bored. You can think of it like an evolutionary alarm bell. It's the biological command that pushed our ancestors to seek out new challenges, which helped us develop these complex brains in the first place. We are built to crave stimulation. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Who would choose pain over just being bored? But a really clever study at Harvard and Virginia universities decided to put that exact question to the test. The setup here is deceptively simple, but it creates this brutal internal conflict. It basically pits the psychological agony of boredom against the absolute certainty of physical pain. The subject's only choices are to sit there with his own thoughts or press a button to deliberately hurt himself. The subject, a man named Jameson, could not have been more clear. After that first shock, he was totally adamant. It was painful, and he had zero desire to ever experience it again. Just let that sink in for a second. In less than 2 minutes, the pain of doing nothing became so unbearable that it was worse than the guaranteed pain of an electric shock. Our craving for stimulation is so intense that sometimes any feeling, even pain, feels better than nothing at all. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's get back to Michael's experiment. He isn't just facing a few minutes of boredom, he signed up for 72 hours of it. For the next 3 days, this is Michael's entire world, a space that has been meticulously designed for maximum sensory deprivation. The constant light is going to completely destroy his sense of time. The silence and the white walls offer absolutely nothing for his brain to process. It is, for all intents and purposes, a perfect void. In the beginning, his mind really fights back. You can see him creating these little routines, like pacing and counting his steps, or reciting the alphabet backwards. Basically anything he can do to generate some kind of internal stimulation and just keep that crushing monotony away. But without the sun or a clock, his internal sense of time starts to fail almost immediately. On the very first day, he's already off by several hours. His body just has no reliable cues to anchor it in reality. So his mind turns inward. With no new information coming from the outside world, he starts replaying memories in super vivid detail. His own past becomes his only form of entertainment, like a private cinema that's just projecting onto the blank walls of his mind. By the time he thinks it's his final day, his perception of time has completely shattered. He is convinced it's Saturday morning, the day he gets out, but in reality, it's only Friday morning. He's now almost a full 24 hours behind schedule. And this is where the really serious decline begins. Without any new information to process, his cognitive functions just start to fray. His thoughts become a tangled mess, and you can see that even his short-term memory is starting to fail him. That constant, unblinking light has absolutely destroyed his sleep cycle. So the line between when he's sleeping and when he's awake just dissolves, and that leads to these moments of just profound confusion, where he literally can't tell the difference between a dream and a real event. And this is his lowest point. He wakes up from a dream absolutely convinced that he's already been released, that the whole thing is over. The crushing realization that he is still inside that white room. It's just a moment of pure psychological distress. And then, finally, the door opens. The 72 hours are over, he's free. But what did this extreme experiment actually do to his mind and his body? Okay, so the results are, well, they're not what you'd expect. On one hand, his body was clearly under a ton of stress. His blood pressure was high. His heart rate was elevated. But surprisingly, he actually performed slightly better on cognitive tests after he got out.
It seems like the sheer relief and adrenaline rush of being released and seeing people again gave him this temporary mental boost, making him sharper and more focused.
But Michael's biggest takeaway, the thing that really stuck with him, wasn't about missing his phone or entertainment. It was about something much, much more fundamental. He realized that an experience isn't truly complete until you share it. Our lives gain meaning through the reactions and connections we have with other people. So what's the ultimate lesson from this whole journey into solitude? After you strip away everything we use to occupy ourselves, what's the essential truth that's left?
It really all comes down to this simple truth. This experiment proves that while we can certainly endure being alone, we don't truly thrive. It's through connection, through sharing our journey with other people, that we actually find meaning, and in the end, travel the furthest.